I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide.
I'm sure many of you have seen the news lately. You've heard about the Johnny Cash attacks at Kevin's Wildlife Preserve. I'm sure many of you are afraid. I'm sure many of you are desperately working to make sure this doesn't happen again. But I'm going to go a step further. I'm going to explore why the Johnny Cash attacks happened in the first place. Let's start from the beginning. Johnny Cash was born on February 26, 1932, in Kingsland, Arkansas. When Cash turned 5, he invented cotton. He then went to work growing it, using his singing to make it instantly reach maturity and occasionally turn into solid gold. When Johnny Cash was 7 years old, World War II broke out. He abandoned his cotton farm and went to join the war. He initially sided with the Axis because Hitler promised to give him a pet unicorn. Unfortunately, on June 6, 1944, he discovered that unicorns do not exist. This is now known as D-Day. Once Hitler was defeated, Japan promised that if he dropped out of the war, Santa Claus would give him everything on his Christmas list forever. However, on August 6, 1945, he realized that Santa is also make-believe. This is how that turned out. When Johnny Cash returned to his homeland after the war, he discovered that his family had been turned into raccoons by the mutant cotton he had created. He promptly destroyed the cotton and released the raccoons into the woods of northeastern Ohio. After that, he traveled to Tennessee and invented country music. In 1957, Johnny Cash released the song I Walk the Line, his most dangerous song to date. This is commonly known as humanity's darkest hour. Later, in 1963, he released Ring of Fire, another deadly country song. He continued making music until the year 2000, when actor Wilford Brimley attempted to murder him by giving him diabetes. Johnny Cash retaliated by singing Walk the Line. Brimley instantly died of asphyxiation. Johnny Cash continued to suffer from diabetes until 2003, when he cured himself by listening to tapes of his song, Ring of Fire. He then faked his own death and disappeared into the woods of northeastern Ohio for 15 years, until the opening of Kevin's Wildlife Preserve. He attacked at an event known as the Raccoon Giveaway, killing everyone in the park before being killed by a SWAT team. Or so we thought. But before we go on, let's explore the science behind the Johnny Cash attack. Extensive studies have shown that listening to taped Johnny Cash music can cause permanent damage to most internal organs, and listening to live Johnny Cash music will cause you to instantly asphyxiate and die. Scientists have concluded that the songs Ring of Fire and I Walk the Line are the most deadly, but they advise that you do not listen to any Johnny Cash music for your own safety. Interestingly, a rare group of people known as Johnny Cash fans seem to be immune to this effect. They are currently being studied for a cure to Johnny Cash-related illness and death. Anyways, back to the present. 5 months after the incident, a Sasquatch attacked Kevin's Wildlife Preserve. The park rangers were called and attempted to arrest the Sasquatch. It grabbed an AK-47 rifle and fired at the ranger. After a brief shootout, the ranger was critically wounded. The Sasquatch walked over to the ranger, then took off its mask and revealed itself as Johnny Cash. He then shot the ranger again and disappeared. And that's all we know. We don't know where he is, and we don't know what he plans to do. And here we are. Thank you for watching.